Alright, so this is part 8 of the rebuild video. I'm just going to get right into it. We have rotors, front and rear. We're doing a tire change. We're mounting and balancing a tire today. And we are also installing new bearings. So, yeah, let's get to it.
Alright, so first thing you're going to do is get some grease. You're going to lube up the inside of where the bearing sits. Now, I very much recommend a bearing driver tool for this because this was a lot easier to do than using a hammer and socket that some people do. And I also recommend using a actual metal hammer or a dead blow hammer because, as you're about to see, the rubber mallet I have is gonna break on me, which sucks because that was like a $30 rubber mallet. But hey, it is what it is. No big deal. I was still able to get the job done. And after switching to the new rubber mallet, I mean, not the rubber mallet, the new object I used for percussive maintenance, which was the handle from a pit bull stand, it went in a lot easier. As you can see, I'm also sticking my finger down in there too to keep readjusting the spacer, keep it in line. And yeah, after everything is aligned and set, you'll hear a different sound, kind of like a ding. You want to install the dust seal for the bearing. Now, these are ceramic bearings that I am installing. They're from Brock's Performance. They have a lot less friction and they last a lot longer than your standard steel bearings. So yeah.
Now we're balancing the wheel. Set this at a 3 o'clock position. Probably at 10 or 11 o'clock for y'all. So that means we need to put quarter weight right there at the top. Some people put temporary weights. I usually just add one weight at a time. But we're going to clean off the area. Let's car clean first. Usually for the older rims, you want to clean them a little bit more. Set it back to that 3 o'clock position like I told you. And it's still moving. Let's try that again. Maybe it was a because there are cars driving there here. So, there we go. So we do need another quarter out. That's fine. These Michelin tires are usually pretty good about being balanced. And now, when we set it back to this position, ideally, it shouldn't move. And that's how you balance a rim. Alright, so now we're putting on the front rotor. Each bolt has to be tightened down to 16 foot-pounds according to the Jigsaw forums I've read. What you'll need is a torque wrench. Got a digital one right here. And you'll need a 6mm Allen head bolt. And before we start, as you can see, there's some blue stuff on the end. This is medium strength Loctite. Make sure that if your bolts don't have it, that you put some on, because that is very, very important.
Alright, so the first thing I'm doing is tightening everything down by hand. With the Allen wrench, just getting everything snug. I'll do this for both sides. And then now I'm torquing this down to 16.5 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Doing the same for the other side. Pretty simple, it's not too hard to do.
Now we have the rotors on, both sides. The wheel is starting to get a little bit heavier, but hey, it is what it is. Still a lot lighter than the stock GSR wheel.
Alright, so now we're moving on to the back wheel. First thing I'm doing is getting the rear wheel lifted up, breaker bar, ratchet, just taking out the rear axle. Pretty simple to do. Chain is always a pain in the butt, along with that brake caliper. Here I got my Rabiconda tire changer. First thing I'm going to do is break the bead, go all the way around. Sometimes you can do it by hand. Be sure to do both sides too. And also lube helps out with getting the tire off. So now I got the duck head, I pull the tire over it, make sure the edge of the tire is in the center of the rim, makes it a lot easier to get off. And as soon as I get this tire off, which is super easy to do with this tire changer, I just press the new one on my foot, and then I lift it over the rim, put in the stay, and then I just go back around, and it is done. Super easy to do. And then I just do the same thing in reverse, balance it, and as I'm putting it back on, I put in the spacers, the brake caliper, lift the chain over the sprocket, and I also press apart the brake pads. Makes everything a lot easier to get up inside there. And yeah, get the axle in there, put the washer on, put the nut on, torque it down, and you are all good to go.
Slowly. There we go.
So let me talk about what I'm doing here. I am taking off the old rubber brake lines, and I am going to be selling the calipers on eBay. I won't be including the old rubber lines, and I won't be including the brake pads because they are cooked. I also had to get a new master cylinder up in Maryland again, because apparently, as you can see, I'm struggling here. It broke in the crash, which sucks. That was about a $500 part, and I was able to find another one for $400 in good condition. So now I have a spare. I'm also just taking off the zip ties where the old electrical line was hooked up for the brake light.
And at the moment, this is how the bike is sitting. Like I said, still waiting for the guy at the machine shop to finish up so we can continue. I'm also getting a different reservoir for the bike, so this and the brake lines are getting thrown away. The brake pads are getting taken out of this, and it is going on eBay